Bioshock has gone down in history as one of the best games ever made, right up there with The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Skyrim, and the Batman Arkham series. Its gameplay, storytelling, and atmosphere are great to this day, and it is a reference and inspiration for many modern games. But is it still a good game today? If one was to play it for the first time after playing modern titles such as Far Cry 6, Hogwarts Legacy, and Baldur's Gate 3, would they find that Bioshock was lacking somewhere? Dare I say even boring? Let's dive in. Bioshock was released on August 21st, 2007 for the Windows PC and Xbox 360. The game is now 16 years old as of this video. The PS3 version of Bioshock released in October 17th of 2008. This is when the Bioshock's DLC came out, which was challenge rooms, a puzzle room, and a museum, which had information about the development and cut content of the game. The sequel to Bioshock 2 was released on February 9th, 2010, and the final installment, Bioshock Infinite, was released on March 16th, 2013. Bioshock was also released on iOS August 27th, 2014. But fans didn't like how low quality the graphics were and took down the app due to compatibility issues on later versions of iOS. The trilogy was then released as Bioshock: The Collection on September 13th, 2016, and has since been put on all major platforms. The trilogy also remastered Bioshock 1 and 2 for the next-gen consoles, while Bioshock Infinite stayed the same, as the developers didn't think there was any reason to remaster it. There are rumors of a Bioshock 4 in the works, and I'm led to believe the rumors are true. With a game series making such an impact, it stands to reason another would be in the works. However, rumors state the game is in development hell. The staffing is hard to come by with job listings about it everywhere. About the developers, not about the game itself. We still don't have that to confirm. But I am looking forward to playing the new Bioshock game, and I believe I'll get to in the far, far future. But for now, I'm happy with the games we have. All games were critically acclaimed. Bioshock, of course, was the most well-received and the most impactful. Bioshock Infinite was the second, and while Bioshock 2 was good, it has the least amount of impact of the three, and was considered disappointing to 2K sales-wise. I might cover the other games another time, but let's focus on Bioshock for now. To answer the question from an objective perspective, yes, I do think Bioshock is still a good game to this day, and here's why. The graphics itself, while old, is a certain style that lasts longer than most. Art Deco, as I believe the name is easier to make than most, and what isn't Art Deco, like the characters themselves in the games, were given lots of love and are mostly hidden in darkness. It's rare to look at this game and think, man, those graphics are rough, as compared to when I first played Hogwarts Legacy, and the first time you watch any conversation they had with one another. The gameplay is still very similar to the modern FPS. The only difference is really the plasmid system, and that comes off as more of a new mechanic than an old, outdated idea. Only a few games have copied the plasmids. The only ones I can think of are the Dishonored series. Now, I will say the button layout is a bit odd, though. The circle on PlayStation to heal, I always thought that was weird. The gameplay itself is easy to understand and use. Compared to Hogwarts Legacy, where the menu must use a mouse icon to select items, like I get that in a PC game where you use a mouse, but damn, it's slow on a controller. The story, it's still one of the best in video game history. It's one that I'm sure has been spoiled for you, but if you go in blind with no knowledge of what's to come, damn, it's a ride you'll never forget. It harps on the same feelings as watching your favorite movie for the first time, or reading that book that is life-changing and changes the way you view the world. I know that's a lot to say about a video game, but I think it's clear now that most video games have the ability to hit home more than any other media. The game definitely doesn't set out to change your view of the world, but it definitely did for me. There are 15 levels in Bioshock. In order, it's the Lighthouse, Welcome Lobby, Medical Pavilion, Neptune's Bounty, Smuggler's Cave, Arcadia, Farmer's Market, Fort Frolic, Hephaestus, Ryan's Office, Olympus Heights, Apollo Square, Point Prometheus, Museum Gauntlet, and Fontaine's Lair. While some places are bigger than others, and certain spots I wouldn't personally categorize as levels, such as the Lighthouse, each place is a spot you need to be loaded into. Each of the main levels, like Medical Pavilion and Olympus Heights, are large, filled with places you never need to go to beat the game, but help build Rapture's world. This is essential for the environmental storytelling you see throughout the game. Now, with all of this content, it's a decent chunk of gameplay time. Average time is 12 hours to beat, not to mention the replayability and how cheap it is now. It's not like some other company I know where their 6-year-old games are still $60 to this day. It's not a 100 hours plus like Far Cry 6, but this is quality over quantity. Games like Far Cry 6 still have a bunch of BS missions to extend its life, and RPG elements that, in my eyes, are just to pad the game time. I always want to mention how well the game plays, as most games these days just don't, and would be better to buy in a year from now where the game's actually playable and goes down in price. Bioshock released at a time where online updates were possible, but most people didn't even have consoles connected to the internet, meaning when games were released, they had to be at least in good condition. From what I played from my first playthrough and to now, which I admit was many years later from its first release, the game was quite stable. There are glitches, but nothing to prevent you from enjoying the game. Nowadays, speedrunners have found enough glitches to beat the game in record time, in about 30 minutes, which is honestly insane, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I personally can't think of a single glitch I encountered other than the ragdoll physics splicers have at times, or just having fun with the telekinesis plasmid and the physics of the game. No accidental out of bounds clips or anything that I experienced. It's unlike games like the Metroid Prime game on GameCube, the first Tomb Raider, or even Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines. This game plays well with just the vanilla version available. You can play the remastered version too if you'd like, but the original still holds up, control-wise, I would say. Bioshock and the rest of the series and the DLC go on sale all the time and is available on all platforms. Leave a comment if you're gonna play it or if you already have. And for those of you who just watched this to geek out about Bioshock again, I hope you got to. Alright, I think I've rambled enough about one of my favorite games of all time. Thanks for watching, check out my other videos if you like, and don't forget to take care of yourself, okay? I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Speak your mind, say what you're thinking. Just be you. Just